You know how we're always told that our favorite treats are bad for us? Well, what if one of them, I'm talking about chocolate, actually held a secret to making our eyesight better? I know, it sounds way too good to be true, so let's dig in and find out what's real. So let's just ask it straight up. Could chocolate really be some kind of secret weapon for better vision? It's a pretty exciting idea, right? And it's one that's been making headlines. But as we're about to see, we really need to separate the hype from the actual science. And believe me, the hype is real. You've probably seen headlines out there calling cocoa a drink for the eyes, or flat out claiming that it increases the sharpness of vision. I mean, those are some seriously bold claims. So let's get into the research that got everybody so excited. All right, let's pull back the curtain and actually look at the science here. Where in the world did these claims come from, and what did the researchers really find? Now, this whole idea didn't just pop up out of nowhere from one single study. It's more like a trail of discovery, you know? It starts small, with cells in a lab, then it moves up to animal studies, and finally it leads to actual studies with people. So the first piece of the puzzle we're going to look at comes from a study on diabetic rats. Now, when they were given a special cocoa rich in these things called polyphenols, it actually protected the function of their retinas. Researchers could see it. They measured how well the eye was responding to light, and the cocoa basically stopped that response from getting weaker. Okay, so then another study took it a step further. This time they looked at mice with a kind of simulated retinal damage. And what they found was that certain compounds from cocoa helped preserve the actual physical structure of the retina. Plus, it kept up the levels of a really important protein called rhodopsin, which our eyes absolutely need to see in the dark. But this next one, this is where things get really compelling. A study on healthy young adults found that just one tiny dose of pure cocoa made their vision in daylight conditions significantly better. Just a single dose. You can see why a result like that would totally make headlines. So we've got these incredible results in rats, mice, and even people. But how? How is this working? What is the secret ingredient in cocoa that's actually causing all these effects? Well, the answer seems to be these little things called flavonoids. They're a type of compound found in all sorts of plants, from fruits and vegetables to, you guessed it, cocoa. And they really seem to be the powerhouses behind all of these potential benefits. This analogy is just perfect for explaining what might be going on. Imagine your eye tissues aren't getting enough oxygen. That's a problem. So a protein in your body acts like a panicked construction crew, and it just starts chaotically building these terrible leaky blood vessels. But then the cocoa flavanols show up, kind of like a calm supervisor, and tell the crew, whoa, whoa, stand down. This suppresses the panic, stopping that harmful abnormal growth. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. The science sounds amazing, but before you race off to the candy aisle, we really need a serious dose of reality. Because, as always, the story is a little more complicated than it looks. And this is a really important point from nutritionist Alexei Dorofeyev, who says that while cocoa can be a helpful tool on the side, it is absolutely 100% not a substitute for actual medical treatment for serious eye diseases. This is so crucial to understand. We need to look at where the evidence is coming from. Animal studies, they're fantastic for figuring out how something might work, but the problem is the results don't always translate over to us humans. For that, you need human trials. They're the gold standard. And right now, there are very few long-term studies on cocoa and vision in people. And let's look at the flavonoids themselves for a second. While they sound amazing, major health authorities like the FDA don't actually consider them essential nutrients. And a huge reason why is that our bodies are just not very good at absorbing them. We get less than 5% of what we eat. Then they're flushed out of our system super quickly. That makes it really hard to prove they have a consistent long-term health benefit. And this right here might be the single most important thing to remember from all of this. The benefits we're seeing in these studies come from flavanol-rich, unsweetened, pure cocoa. We are not, I repeat, not talking about your average milk chocolate candy bar, which is usually packed with sugar and other stuff that could totally cancel out any potential good it might do. All right, so let's bring this all home. We've seen the exciting, headline-grabbing science, and we've looked at the pretty sobering reality. So what's the final sweet takeaway for you in all of this? After everything we've just talked about, what's the final verdict? Should you really be running out to stock up on chocolate for the sake of your eyes? So here's the bottom line. The early research, It's definitely promising for sure. But remember, those potential benefits are tied specifically to unsweetened flavanol-rich cocoa, not candy. It's a super interesting area to watch, but it is not a cure and it's not a replacement for seeing your doctor. The best advice? Just be skeptical of those simple headlines and know the real story. It really gets you thinking, right? I mean, if there's this much complexity hiding inside a simple cocoa bean, what other incredible secrets are just waiting to be discovered in the foods we eat every single day?